It's always inspiring to hear from you. Thank you. And Freya has just asked you to save the animals by the choices that you make not to eat them. And that's really what's going to make the change. The marketplace. Why is that McDonald's across the way open? Because people go there. If I could snap my fingers and all next week 10% fewer people would go there, they would be closing that location because where's the profit in the last 10%? Yeah. All right, our next speaker is actually helping to save these animals that Freya talked about. Now, I'm with Mid-Hudson Vegetarian Society, and on a cool rainy day about 8 years ago, a group of us went out to Saugerties to meet Kathy Stevens, who was starting the Catskill Animal Sanctuary. And if you've never been up there, it's a lovely, lovely place. They will be having a shindig next month. Kathy will give you the date. And that's a nice trip also. And we were very impressed with Kathy because she told us she not only wanted to provide a sanctuary for abused and abandoned horses and farm animals, but she wanted to do educational programs so that people would come to the sanctuary and learn about these animals and make better decisions. And so she not only realized her dream, the Catskill Animal Sanctuary is strong and going well, but they do wonderful educational programs every weekend during a great part of the year, and Kathy goes out and speaks, and they're just really doing wonderful work. Kathy's the author of 2 fabulous books. They are at her table. Go take a look at them. And now I'm going to let Kathy Stevens, director of Catskill Animal Sanctuary, speak for herself. Kathy. Hello. Hello. I got to come down here.
Dr. Natural did it. Did you see Dr. Natural?
I did see Dr. Natural. He was fabulous. That's okay. Okay, so Robbie, thanks for the introduction. Pam, thank you so much for plowing through on this questionable day. I was thinking about when I was feeding the pigs this morning and we were in a deluge, and I was thinking, wow, this could be a really tough day if it's down there like it is up here. And then I thought immediately, what would a chicken give to have a choice to be out in the rain? What would a pig locked in a gestation crate its whole life give to be out in the rain? Billions and billions and billions of animals have no choice about any aspect of their lives ever. Ever. You've heard all day the three different pleas. I used to call them arguments. Now I call them pleas. I feel like we are pleading with humanity. The first one is about diet. We're sick and we're fat because of what we eat. The second one is about the suffering of these animals from birth to death. And the third one is about the environment, and if there's not a massive change soon, there is not going to be an earth for us to eat the meat on. There's not going to be an earth, people. We're running out of time. There are 2 more pleas that I like to bring, hi Jim, that I like to bring to the table. Right before I left the sanctuary today, we have a friend named Joanne Rose, and Joanne appeared in the middle of the barn, and I saw her. I had my hands full of pig dishes with all their fruit and vegetables and stuff, and she burst into tears. And I said, "What's wrong?"
Well, her rooster Ichabod had died the night before. And I watched this woman, felt this woman cry like a tiny child who had lost its mother or best friend. And she told me about how Ichabod was a lap rooster. And she told me about taking Ichabod for car rides and about how Ichabod loved strawberry shortcake, vegan strawberry shortcake. And it occurs to me that the opportunity we miss often is to tell the stories of who these animals are. We talk about what we're doing to them, we talk about the suffering that we inflict upon them, but the reaction is too often, well, so what? It's just a chicken. So I invite you, vegans, or thinking about being vegans, or thinking about being vegetarians, to come to Catskill Animal Sanctuary, to go to Farm Sanctuary, to learn about who they are, because let me tell you something, they're no different than we are. They might have feathers and beaks, we have whatever, we have hair and toes. They love, they feel joy, they feel jealousy, they feel impatience. Some are brave, some are shy. 10 chickens, there might be things that universally make them chickens. They all love to dust bathe, for instance. But 10 chickens are as individual as 10 people. And 10 pigs, woo-wee! 10 pigs, remarkably different. Yes, they're all strong. Yes, for the most part, they're all willful. But you've got the lovely, gentle Nadine. You could just lie down and take a nap with Nadine for the rest of the day. And then you've got, you know, the impertinent little Franklin who would probably snap your head off because he can't lie still for that long. He's sort of a bit of a hyperactive, nervous pig. And Holy Terror, we were not going to talk about Amelia. Amelia spends a lot of time in timeout. She's our young piglet who's testing our will these days. So I feel like it's important to go to sanctuaries, to read the stories, and to share the stories of who they are. Not so very long ago, African Americans were considered sort of things, less than people, less than white people. There's a powerful book, it's an old book, it's been around a long time, it's called The Dreaded Comparison, and even though it's a stretch for most of us, the more I'm around these animals, the less of a stretch it is to see the ways that we're the same. The same. White, black, yellow, brown, red, human, pig, dog, whale, chicken. We all feel pain. Suffering is the same, no matter your species. And that whole rich emotional world is not only our purview. You know, your dog feels emotions, rich emotional lives, attaches to animals, to friends. So do chickens. I would invite you to visit sanctuaries and to include that argument, that plea, as you talk to your friends. Bring them to sanctuaries. The second plea I started to make, it occurred to me when my dad said to me on the phone for the 914th time, "What are you having for dinner tonight, sticks and leaves?" You know, it was funny 15 years ago. It's not, you know, it's a little tired now. But my dad is a very kind man. My dad is kind to neighbor and to stranger, to old friends and to new. My dad once jumped out of his truck, which was still kind of rolling toward a red light, to help a man with a cane up onto the curb, and I'll never forget that. I was very young. Kindness is a universal value. You don't say, I'm going to be lovely on Tuesday, I'm going to be an asshole on Wednesday. We don't say that. Kindness is a universal value that if we are trying to evolve as human beings, we try to apply in all situations. We try to appeal, as Jean was saying earlier, to the best in us. But every time we pick up a fork, we're acting unkindly. We are making an exception to that value we hold so true. So, I am finding that people don't really have much to say when I say, well, what about kindness? Are you a kind person? Try that. We're open on weekends, at Saturdays from 10, thank you Michelle Alvarez, Saturdays from 10 to 2, and then I do theme-based tours. We're doing one called The Biology of Bovines. My teaching assistant is our 1,700-pound half Black Angus, half Holstein steer babe. Lots of themed tours on Sundays. They're free to the public, so check out those programs on the website. And we're having our 10th annual shindig on June 18th, and it's quite, if you've never been, Catskill Animal Sanctuary is a quite uncommon place where many of the animals roam free all day long. So I invite you to come. I thank you for being here. I thank Pam Rice for her wonderful work. And you guys, go Veggie. Have a great day. Thank you so much for coming. Ciao.
Thank you, Kathy.